A Quiet Place is one of the most unique experiences I've ever had in a movie theater. And that's because so much of the movie is completely quiet. A lot of times there isn't even music. And so it's like even maybe quieter than the silent movie. But the silent movie would have the orchestra and stuff. So it feels like you can't make any noise. Like my throat is a little messed up. And I coughed a couple times and I was like, like trying not to cough. And then when you hear someone rattling popcorn or someone opening up a bottle of soda they snuck in, like it's such a unique atmosphere for a movie, and it like helps like it provide this atmosphere for a really excellent like creature flick that it brings it up even higher than like it would be without that. So A Quiet Place was written, directed, and is starring John Krasinski, and it also features his wife Emily Blunt, and then the two separate kids, Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe, and they have a really interesting bond. They you tell, especially the parents, they feel like they're a real couple because they are a real couple, but they all act really well, and they really features. They support the story excellently. That there's a lot to demand from this movie because they have to be so quiet. So almost because of that, they have to show so much emotion in their faces, in how they emote, and especially Emily Blunt was amazing in this. Like she was superb in some of her scenes because slight spoiler, but not really. Like she's pregnant, and at a certain point, she has a monster over her shoulder while maybe she's having some birthing pangs. And it's some really crazy moments. I will say though, at certain points, I almost wish there was a little bit more of a build-up. Like you got to see more of the family just being a family. I think partially because it's a pretty short runtime. It's a really tight runtime. Like, I don't know, like an hour and a half maybe at most. And it feels a little short, like it could have been a little bit longer. And because I would have cared more about them when they're in danger. But at the same time, it's crazy because at a certain point, like things start to go wrong and things never ratchet down. Like, I mean, there's a couple of like false alarms, and that is a little bit annoying. There are a couple goofy fake jump scares, like with a raccoon and stuff. But, that's whatever. But, at a certain point, like, the shit hits the fan, and it keeps hitting the fan until everything is covered in shit. Because, like, once stuff goes wrong, those monsters are about and looking for whatever made that sound. And that's really cool because, like, there's hardly any exposition, except the exposition that is there is a little heavy-handed. And that's not even from a character. It's from, like, a whiteboard that John Krasinski has set up, like, where he talks about, like, there were some of their attributes, like, and their weaknesses, and, like, question mark, and, like, that is really, has really great hearing, and some sort of armor, and, like, so it's, like, possibly 3 confirmed in the area, so it's, like, there's a certain point that the character maybe has a weapon to kind of weaken them, and like you keep looking at the whiteboard. Weakness, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Like you keep looking at the board, and it's like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do, but at the same time, like when you can't have that much exposition of them talking for the most part, I understand why they have to do that. And even if you take away the kind of all the quiet aspect of the movie, the creature flick of it is really good because, like, the creature design is really interesting and well done. It reminded me a little bit of the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Like they have the first thing that it kind of like armored and is protected, and then when it's hunting, like opens up and this like big fleshy ear kind of pops out listening, and like and then all the sharp teeth, of course, and like their limbs almost like a insect, like a weird thing. Like it has a really interesting design. And kind of spoiler, but not really. But I would love to see a sequel in the same way that Alien had aliens. I'd love to see A Quiet Place and Quiet Places or something, where like the first one is they get this mostly one monster, like trying to hunt this family and them trying to kill it or escape it, and then the sequel could be them, maybe Emily Blunt in kind of the way of and when she was in that Live, Die, Repeat or whatever the movie is called now. Like I would love to see her just destroying these aliens or monsters or whatever they are, and maybe have like a bunch of people doing it. Like that would be a really cool movie, like a different take, like a sequel to it in a different way. Like I think it made enough money that they probably could do that if they wanted to. But I'd love to see something like that because it is a really good movie. It's horror, but not really not that horror. Like I said, it's almost like a little bit like it's a creature flick. But I haven't had a good one of those in a little bit, and I would definitely recommend it. And I think especially it'd be great to see in the theater because it's such a unique experience that I think you will lose some maybe if you see it at home. So I think it's definitely worth to go out of your way to see this movie while it's in the theater. And I give it like an 8.759-ish out of 10. Like I would highly recommend it. So thanks for watching, and sorry about my voice. But you can check out other replays on my head or scratch me over here. Thanks.